Good evening all. I hope everybody is well. Thanks to the Pulse management for the opportunity. So I'm just going to give you a brief solution on the voice. So some of you may know us from the data, but voice is an equally strong product of our company. So I'll just take you through the agenda of the presentation. I'm going to cover like international calling, some of our solutions for the healthcare industry, bots, our contact center, some case studies which we have implemented for customers, and some integrations, along with a few videos to make it a bit interactive. So firstly, we have our international calling setup. So mostly some of the customers we service are in the healthcare industry, like the revenue cycle management calling, some are global healthcare solutions, recruitment calling, and BPOs. So there are multiple international processes, domestic processes which we service. So one major important part about our international calling services is we cover nearly 80% of countries with numbers. You want a US number, I can give you any area code US number. You want a UK number, I can give you UK number. You want a UAE number, I can give you UAE number. So we cover around 80% of global countries along with the software. So we also added on provide a cloud solution software where you may have seen in your system deployed that it is a soft phone based setup or an IP phone based setup. But we have a web browser based platform. So we have seen that the growth is in WebRTC technology. So we have a lot of advanced features like single sign-on, multi-factor SMS, and some added-on services. What we service are spam monitoring, Azure Express Link, like how Sarfraz has said about AWS Direct Connect, and the voice bots. So one of the major industries that we service is the healthcare industry. I believe there are some of our customers here as well, and some who could potentially be our customers. So we understand the security involved and the seriousness involved in servicing this business. So some of the certifications we have are HIPAA compliant, and we have a SOC 2 compliance as well. So on a cloud center perspective, as I told you, we have a WebRTC based product. It's on the browser, which allows for ease of use. So for example, we have some advanced features like a dual dial pad. So we understand that in this business, there are calls which wait for a long time. So what we try to do is we give them agent another dial pad on the screen, so they can talk at 2 calls at a time, so that they don't lose their productivity. They make 2 calls at a time. When the insurance provider on the other side answers, they're able to answer back. And recently we integrated with Azure for a single sign-on. So like how we use Gmail to log into multiple apps, you can control all of your calling applications. You may have multiple providers. Using that one login, you can contact multiple providers when logging with the same Azure ID. Thirdly, like Merlin mentioned, we have also service with US SMS. We understand that authentication is very important. So we provide US SMSs for multi-factor authentication and for security reasons, which can be either used via API or it can be directly given to an email. Fourthly, we also do an express link with Azure for a private connectivity. So we can even deploy our contact center on Azure. Even though we are primarily on AWS, we can also deploy our contact center into Azure for your setup. So most importantly, as we are servicing this industry for many years, for more than 20 years I believe, we make sure that any of your data is stored in the US for HIPAA regulations. Our calling servers in the US, but as per TRI norms, our gateways are in India. So this is just a brief of the revenue cycle solution we offer. So recently we have actually developed a bot for this revenue cycle management. So as some of you may know, you call US insurance providers to get the claim status of a particular patient. What we have done is we automate it. So these are some of the providers we have partnered with or we have worked for, like Medicare, Humana, UMR, Aetna, Cigna. So the next slide will actually show you how a normal caller works and how we can automate it for them. So if you can see here, there are 2 processes of 2 different healthcare providers. One is Aetna and one is Cigna. So the flow what you see here is the normal flow what a caller will face on a daily basis. So they will call a US healthcare number. They will try to input the details of the patient, like say for example your tax ID. They will put the member ID. They will put the date of birth. They will wait for a verification of the patient. So what we can do is we have developed a bot which will automate everything. So for this process, for a manual agent to do this, it may take you 10 minutes. But I can do 50 calls in the same 10 minutes through a bot. That means you don't need the manpower. Everything can be done on the bot itself. And a bot recognizes, for example, some IVR systems, they accept voice. So where you say the patient's name, it will reach back and give you that is a response. Or sometimes it will also ask you to give a DTMF input, like alphanumeric DTMF. So on your mobile phone, when you press 2 once, it will show A. When you press 2 twice, it will show B. So our system automatically recognizes that and translates it to the IVR system so that it can accept the inputs. So for example, Cigna is another process or another healthcare provider that we worked on as a bot. So for example, all these processes which you see here, like a tax ID, a member ID, how do you confirm the member ID, what are the data birth, everything can be done automated. So either you can upload an Excel sheet into our platform and the bot will run automatically. And also from your tool where you store your patient information, you can even just use it by an API to run the bot. So we can even handle a concurrency of 100 to 150 calls. So say a normal call would take a caller 20 minutes, we can do it in just 4 minutes time. And in case your data is not sufficient or you're not getting the right output, we can just run it again. So within those 20 minutes of normal manual time, you can run 5 times the bot cycle and complete it in 20 minutes. So this is a quick bot. So I'm unable to show you a demo due to HIPAA reasons, and we have some client data we work with. So anytime you would want to see a demo, we can come to your office and we can show you a live demo of the bot as well. So another major service what we recently onboarded is a spam monitoring service. So this is primarily for the US market, where we work with the US carriers to ensure that none of your calls are marked as spam. So for example, we have a monitoring tool where you can upload our numbers, you can classify your numbers with us for this service, and we will ensure that they do not get marked as spam. And in case it gets marked as spam, I have the ability to remove that thing, remove the spam option, because I partner with these carriers. So if you want to see a demo of it, or if you want to think, you can always reach out to the team here, we're willing to show you a project. So now I'll be moving on to the domestic center. So as you know, India is a big market for call centers. So we try to service call centers based on the need of each and every customer. So the major point what we focus on is integration. Why we focus on integration is there is already a CRM in place, or an ERP in place, or a SAP in place, and we are the call center product. So since we have a WebRTC product, it's an easy plug-in anywhere because all your CRMs are on the browser. So we always believe in integration first. So for example, we've integrated with Salesforce, Zoho, Sellado, and many more CRMs. And a major issue that most companies face is they're not able to retain their existing infrastructure. Say you move from one provider to the other, you have to change your numbers. Your customers already know your number, so you may face an issue where customers reach out to the number and it's gone to another company. So what we do is we integrate with their existing PRA or your existing SIP run. That way, your customers still know that your business numbers are the same. At the same time, they're using a different provider. So this is a major USP of Pulse. And additionally, we are also a domestic telecom provider. So we have a VNO license. We provide our own SIP runs. And in the next slide, I will be explaining to you about mobile virtual numbers as well. So our deployment, how we analyze solutions is based on every single requirement. Every requirement is different. Every call center is different. So we try to analyze each and every requirement and see how do we fulfill that requirement. So any kind of deployment, whether it's a cloud-based or a on-premises based, we try to service based on our client's needs. So I just have a quick video to show you on our IVR builder, just a small snippet of a platform. So this is just a quick IVR builder. So everyone has an IVR in place. So we have the option for you to manage your own call center or your own telephony setup, where you can put your own IVR via text to speech, or you have a recording, you can just upload it. So for example, here what I'm showing you is, I'm just typing a random text, and automatically it gets converted to speech and it gets configured into the system. So next, we also have an option for a holiday IVR. So you may know that, okay, on your holidays you may not want an IVR in place, but you want all your calls to be tracked and recorded. So you can just configure the holiday IVR here, and it will automatically configure into the system. We choose the date and time. So for example, I select type. What is the date, what is the start time and end time, and accordingly your IVR will be played. So mainly what we give is, we give you the option to configure your call flow. So I have an IVR builder here, where if I want to enable a recording, I can enable a recording. So say any IVR will have either a key press or a voice-based input. So if I want a key press, say I'm going to press 1, what is the action it should take? So when I press 1, I want to send it to a group of people. So say in the Pulse IVR, it says welcome to Pulse Tele System, press 1 for sales, press 2 for support. So we define the call flow here and we let the customer itself take the action to configure their own call flow. Because every company is different, every call flow is different, every need is different. So this is an option which we give on our front end to configure for your own processes. So if you want to add another key press, like what would happen if I press 2? The press 2 can have another set of users to run the call through, or another department. Everything can be configured on the Pulse platform itself. So you can go back to the PPT. So if you have any questions, always free to answer. Last one. So as I was saying, as much you may be knowing of multiple contact center providers, but what is also important is the telecom that goes behind it. So you may have heard of your normal SIP trunk, whether it's a Bangalore or a Chennai SIP trunk. But what we have also recently come up with is a mobile virtual number solution. So what is the benefit? It starts with the series 9, resembles a mobile number. It's not dependent on any location. So if you get a call from the number, it won't show it's coming from Bangalore or from Ahmedabad or from Chennai. So for example, what it does is it improves the call connectivity. The calling number comes from a mobile number, even though it's not a mobile number. And also it doesn't depend on any mobile network. So it's easy to use in a telephony system. It improves your call engagement because any customer would trust a call coming from a 9-digit number. And it's very scalable. Anytime you need to increase your channels, so increase your channels is up and down, it's very scalable. So another services which we recently partnered with is WhatsApp. So we are a WhatsApp business partner. So we also provide WhatsApp APIs, and we also have a WhatsApp bot. So I think today morning we would have triggered a message to you, and I hope you were able to interact with the bot. So we try to do multiple flows of the bot based on a requirement. So we do it for multiple industries, multiple use cases. So for this event, we had devised a small chatbot, which I hope you were able to interact with. So the benefit of chatbot is it's always available. You don't need to depend on an agent to reach out to a company. There's always any kind of flow can be built, any kind of integration can be done, which can be personalized with your own CRM. You'll get an instant response and you'll get good reports, and a chatbot always makes for a good product demo. This is just a quick brief about WhatsApp. So why Pulse? So many of you have already interacted with the salespeople. They come to your office, they met you. But I would like to mention one more time, we are a completely telecom solution provider. Our entire suite consists of VoIP, contact center, CRM, SIP trunks, lease line, Truecaller, SMS and WhatsApp APIs. So no other provider comes close to the telecom services we offer. And we also provide a managed telecom service. As some of our customers may know, we provide both data and voice. But we can provide you a completely managed service. We can set up your call center, we can provide you the numbers, and we can provide you the connectivity. It's a USP. And the third major important point is we are one of the most experienced partners in the telecom industry. So for 20 years, we've been in the market. So we're one of the senior most providers in the domestic market. So I'm just presenting 2 case studies for you. So I'll tell you what the problems the client faced and how we were able to solve them. So this is a call center setup which we had deployed for an NGO in India. So they had a problem where it was an on-premises setup and they did not have adequate people to manage it. So by deploying our call center in the cloud, we were able to manage it for them. Any downtime came up, we were able to handle it or anything like that. So one major platform failure what they had faced was the platform could not handle more than 100 concurrent calls at the same time. So this call center gets around 50,000 calls on a daily basis, mainly incoming. So, and it's a very sensitive call center they have. So their expectation is 100% uptime. But during our implementation, we were able to handle more than 120 concurrent calls. And this NGO is also spread all over India, and they wanted to be able to use the platform easily. Since we provide a web-based platform, they can just log in from their browser at home or anywhere else. And the main thing what they faced was they didn't have an integration in place, where the agent or the caller could not see who they are talking to, since there are already people registered in the database. So what we did is, on our web browser platform, which I'll be showing you a video of, we have integrated a CRM itself in the Pulse dial pad. So if you can see here, this is the Pulse dial pad, and this is the dialer that you see here. But the entire information captured here is the CRM. So what happens is, if a customer is registered on this CRM, their details will populate. So Sarah, you can play it and I can show a test call. Sarah, you can pause it. As you can see here, this is a registered donor in the system. So what the system knows is, we trigger an API to the database to see that, okay, is this an existing donor? Is this an existing customer? And their details populate. And if you can see here, the language shows as English. So what it means is, this is a national call center where people call from different languages to different people. So we ensure that no matter what, whenever this person calls into the system, they will always be redirected to an English caller. Because we understand that the system has stored the data that, okay, this is an English person, this is an English caller. So Sarth, you can tell me. So everything which takes place in the CRM, whatever notes you have to fill in, gets updated in the CRM itself. So this is what we call iframe integration, where we have brought the CRM into our platform. And I'll also have another video in another case study where we will also show the customer, where the customer has a CRM, Salesforce, and where we have integrated into Salesforce. So like I mentioned earlier, this major customer had a problem where their existing customers were not able to reach them very easily. They had to go through the IVR to get to the agent. So what we have done is, we have integrated with CRM. So like I showed you in the video, the person who was shown on the video speaks only English. So they will always go only to an English queue. And another problem what they faced was, there was no dump of reports. There was always a dump of reports. There were no advanced analytics. So we had provided BI powered dashboards. So what this helped them was, their TLs and their quality auditors could spend time on other work. Everything was automated for them. So they didn't have to manually go on Excel, create formulas and create their own reports. And mainly for this NGO, the major point what they wanted was to integrate with their existing number. So they had an Airtel number, which they were using for more than 20 years. But they didn't want to change the number. So what we had done is, we had integrated their SIP trunk, so that no matter what, their callers will always call their own number. Because that is what they've been known by for 20 years. So go to the next slide. So this is the iframe integration we've done with inside the Pulse platform. So now I'll show you a quick integration of what we've done inside Salesforce. So you can tell me. So as you can see here, compared to the other integration, we have built our dial pad into Salesforce, where you have a single sign-on, you log in with the Salesforce ID, and your calling gets activated. As an agent, you can only make calls through your CRM. You don't need to log into the Pulse tab, don't need to have an external application, everything is on the browser. So if you see when a call is being made, a particular lead page relating to the number opens up. So you know that, okay, this is the particular lead you're calling, this is the particular lead information you need to gather when talking to the customer. And what happens also is, a task gets created. This call was made to this customer. Whether it was answered or no answer will be shown on the screen. So everything takes place within the Salesforce ecosystem and is easy to use. So if you see here, the task gets created against a particular lead. That call has been made. So if you can see here, there's an outbound answered call. And what happens here is, we update the call records, like what time the call started, what time did the call end, what was the duration of the call, and as well as the recording. So it's easily accessible for an agent. And what type of call it was it answered or not answered or missed, and the duration as well. Let's go. And I'll also show you how an incoming call comes in. So when an incoming call comes in the system also, it opens up the lead page. So no matter what, in a second, when the incoming call comes in, you will know who's calling you. Because that's what is important in agent, right? Anytime they want to reach out, or anybody calls them, they will know who they're speaking to and they will know what to speak to the person. So this is how we have integrated into Salesforce. And we've done multiple different deployments within Salesforce as well. So sir, you can go back to the presentation. So this is the case study for a 1,000-seater call center. And they had actually tried to migrate from a real estate-based CRM to Salesforce. And we had actually done the deployment in 3 weeks' time, which I think is a record in our industry. So one of the major things, like I showed you in the video, was a single sign-on. So through CTI, we were able to integrate in Salesforce. You can make calls from Salesforce itself. You don't need to log into the Pulse platform. We had also given them multiple calling modes. So there will be salespeople on the site to reach out to customers. So they can make calls on the mobile, or else a user in the office can make calls with the browser. We've also integrated with Salesforce database. So when a lead comes in, I will know who the lead owner is, who the call should be routed to. We've done a deep level of integration there. And we've also integrated multiple service providers. So we give them multiple numbers to call out from, and the agent has a choice. If I want to call from SIM number 1, yes. If I want to call from number 2, yes. I have the choice and the flexibility to pick my own number, which I'm going to make calls from. And also what we deployed for this customer was, we have integrated into Salesforce mobile app. I don't know how many of you are using Salesforce here, but if you see here, Salesforce mobile app does not support CPI. But we were able to do it for this customer to suffice their need. And we've also given them like a missed call notification where everything comes on their Salesforce application itself. So we have also integrated WhatsApp and SMS for this client, where SMS go to their website. Any person comes on their website, they get an OTP triggered to them. Any lead which comes on the website gets a chat bot sent to them, like what time, what property you're interested in, what kind of, where would you like to visit, when would you like to visit, and so on. This is just a small use case that we do. So I'm coming towards the end of my presentation, so I hope it will not take too long. So we've also recently integrated Microsoft Teams. So a lot of people here might be using Teams for the internal communication, but I can tell you that you can even use Teams to make a normal phone call. So what we do is we can convert Teams to your own office PBX. You may have a Teams environment, you may have a PBX in your office. But what we can do is we can change Teams into your PBX. So all these features are available with Teams. What we do is our platform behaves like an SPC, and we integrate it into Teams. And through this Teams application, based on the licenses you have, you can make calls from Teams. I can call you from my Teams application as a normal phone call on your phone. So if you want to see a demo, we're always here to show you a live demo of the product as well. And last but not least, we have also partnered with Truecaller. So most of you know how easy it is to get a number marked as spam. But when we partner with Truecaller Business, we give clients the opportunity to make calls using the company name. So how a call, you would get a call from a company saying like Bajaj Finance with a green color banner. That is what we also do. So that improves your brand visibility, trust. It helps you increase the call ratio and the satisfaction on the customer end, because you know you're not getting spam, you know who is calling, and you know it's a call which you have consented for. So Truecaller is also another services which we have. So in case you want to to see how it could benefit your organization, we're happy to help you out. So I've come to the end of my presentation, so thank you very much.